Right, YouTube, it is Mr. Mean coming at you this fine Thursday evening about, well, not quite evening. It is 4:40 roughly as I'm recording this. This will go up. I will post this later tonight. As you can see on the screen here, I was talking with one of my fellow members on Discord, and he had brought up how much he enjoyed D20 Modern, and I thought, you know what? The next content should be D20 Modern. So here we go. Just so you know, all the books I'm going to preview, I do physically own copies of them, but it's just easier to show you on the screen here. This is back in the heyday of label makers, so of course I had to put my name in there. But D20 Modern, what can I say, man? Let's get housekeeping out of the way. First of all, first and as always, like and subscribe. It helps out the channel, helps me out. I'm also on ZellyPay. I am no longer on Patreon. I'm gonna stop saying that here pretty soon. But just a couple people do follow me on Patreon, and I'm on ZellyPay now. It's free for you, free for me, and the payment is almost instantaneous. So ZELLE.com, Zelly.com. Most banking institutions accept it. I haven't seen one yet that doesn't, and it's usually through your smartphone. There's an option on your smartphone to do it, so just give it a check out there, or go to zellypay.com or zelly.com and you can look it up. If you'd like to send a contribution or a donation, your funds go a long way to help keep the channel alive and keep food in my belly and my baby's belly. I have a very awesome 2-year-old, and so any donations you send go a long way to help, and Mr. Mean does appreciate it. So anyway, as always, tell your friends, like and subscribe. Like I said, let's get into it. D20 Modern, published in 2002, if my memory serves me correct. Let's check the book. Of course, I could do this on the PDF there. 2002, first printing, November 2002. Wow, what can we say about D20 Modern? Let's look at the PDF while we talk, and we'll go there. I have fond memories of D20 Modern. I thought it was really cool. Bill Slavezik, John Grubb, Rich Redman, and Charles Ryan brought this to life in the glut of the 3.0, 3.5 genre era. These were great books, man. They were any setting you wanted, you could cover. You had your fantasy, of course, with D&D, and then D20 did everything else. They even ported over the sci-fi set. I think it was Alternity. I think they imported over to a D20 or a variation thereof. But man, just good stuff here. You know, everybody that was involved in this, you can see here. You can pause the video and come back and look at it. Chris Perkins was the design manager. I mean, even way back when. So Chris Perkins, a lot of you guys and gals know him now because he's the guy that hosts the D&D live stream. And he does Acquisitions Incorporated at Gen Con every year, or Penny Arcade. But he's been around for a long time. But real good production quality here. It's a hardcover, stitched, sewn, glue binding. Let me get it up there on the camera there. You can see this. I've owned this since it was brand new, and it has stood the test of time. It's in great shape. I don't think I have any blemishes. I think the corners are all... I mean, yeah, this book is in great shape. Like I said, really enjoyable. I love the content. D20 Modern, of course, was a D20 based system. D&D, part of the OGL, and you could, you'd roll a D20. It used a standard set of polyhedrals. There was tons of stuff. This book was loaded, 384 pages. The last couple pages are the table of index, and then of course there's a good table of contents, which is what we're looking at here. The art style was a very cartoony, animated style that they kept throughout the book, and as far as I'm concerned, it served it really well. I liked it. They used a lot of the same, well, they used all of the same artist over and over and over again, so the art is very consistent. I thought the layout of the book was actually very functional, very well done, modern, and it befit the setting. I didn't run a whole lot of D20 Modern. I did play in 1 or 2 games on and off. I enjoyed them immensely. But it suffered from every problem, from all the same problems that any of the D&D 3.0 and 3.5 editions suffered, and that is glut. There was literally a ton of books that came out. Green Ronin got in on it. Stan, exclamation point, who did a lot of stuff, was heavily involved in Green Ronin at the time, and produced stuff. I think they did the Player's Guide, which, yeah, right here. Yeah, Stan, there you go. They tried to keep the somewhat consistent art. It's obviously a different artist, but it's okay. Then we had Urban Arcana, which was one of my favorite books because I'm a huge Shadowrun fan, but I hate the mechanics of Shadowrun, and I always wanted to run an Urban Arcana Shadowrun game, and that's why I bought this book. It was too much stuff. It was, it's in the library, guys. Great hardcover book, again, stitched and sewn, really well done. It's WotC, so Wizards of the Coast, the D20 system, they follow all the same mechanics that the regular core D20 book did, of course, but they threw magic in there with your monsters. So you basically could run with this in D20 Future, you could run Shadowrun. There you go. Or any variation of sci-fi that you wanted. And then, of course, if you were really gung-ho, you could do your Mad Max, your post-apocalyptic, centaur with a Gatling gun. Who doesn't want one? The super cool guy on the crossbow and a motorcycle, and then a dude riding, I don't know, or a chick riding something. I don't know what that is. I don't want to know. It looks like a nightmare. But yeah, there was literally a ton of books that came out for this system, and it was a good system. And just like Palladium and D&D and Shadowrun, if you limit what your players have access to core books, meaning, we're going to play a D20 Urban Arcana game, so the only books that are allowed to be used are the core book and Urban Arcana. It was a functional game. The problem was it suffered from gloat. There were too many, or bloat, bloat, not gloat. It suffered from just too many books and too many choices, and you went financially bankrupt trying to buy them all. They were reasonably priced. I believe, Urban Arcana went for $40 for, 300 pages, roughly. It's customer service survey in the back. No page counts here. Come on, give me a page count. Yeah, 320 pages for the Urban Arcana. And of course, the core book itself was 300 pages or so. Let's see, let's go to OBS, and no, OBS doesn't show me, and I've got it sent too far down. Let's see if I can bring it up a little bit. There we go. 398, so just short of 400 pages. So just short of 400 pages, and fantastic material. Like I said, really well done, written by some of the top people in WotC at the time, and where'd the book go? I lost my book. Oh, might have too many pages open. It might have went stupid on me. Let's close all tabs. We'll just reopen it. D20 was great. Like I said, didn't get to play it as much as I would have liked to. It was one of those really great games that there was a calling for it. Obviously, they threw out a ton of books. We'll just start with the core rulebook right now. There we go. Or not. For some reason, it seems to be pixelating. Huh. Don't know what happened there. Let's see if we can open up another one. We can do, well, you know what? Urban Arcana is one of my favorites. Let's open that one. The joys of filming. And I could go edit all this out, but I'm not. Urban Arcana, there we go. Eric Cagle, Jeff Grubb, David Noonan, Bill Slavezek, and Stan. So even Stan had a big hand in this. Stan's a freelancer. He's worked on a lot of mutant and masterminds. He's done a ton of stuff in the industry. Real big in the 3.0, 3.5 days. I haven't heard much from him since. I'm assuming he's still out there doing stuff. He may be writing fiction or you know, whatever. You can see here, Christopher Perkins is still the game design manager. This came out in 2003. Real nice aesthetic to the book. I like the white and the red. The art, again, went slightly different direction, but was still cool. This went with a shadow conspiracy kind of deal where there's an alternate dimension of beings that are trying to get a foothold here in the D20 Modern universe. And it's all about your players playing troubleshooters and trying to figure it out and stop it. And so, you know, it was basically there was a mask or a illusion that the shadow creatures could cast over themselves. So to all the mundanes, they looked like normal human beings, but to people who were in the know, the Urban Arcana guys, they could see them for what they really were. And it talked about, you know, getting your initial feats and metamagic feats and everything. So you could cast spells, you could do everything, your level advancement. It was all there, all the D20 glory, you know, tons and tons of character options, as you can see. All kinds of crazy spells, non-lethal spells, just spell slinger. You have a gift for magic that allows you to cast more spells than normal. You know, just ways to break the game, basically, is what it really boiled down to. But, you know, lots of just crazy stuff. The shadow kind, you play characters who are not native to the mundane world. Most of these characters hail from a place beyond shadow. They are known as mundane, to mundanes as shadow kind. So that's your elves, dark elves, or the drows, the dwarves, gnomes, goblins, halflings, various half-breeds, including half-dragons and half-elves and half-orcs. Humans from dimensions other than our own. So as you could see, any race that you could play that was in any of the 3.5 books was available to you. And there were rules for playing creatures of shadow. And how they, you know, it went into, you know, this is a dwarf. And just... I mean, really cool stuff. The game was... I would like to see Hasbro, WotC, bring this back in a 5th edition version. It would be really nice to see. I would buy the books all over again. I thought they were great. They were well done. Very concise in their art. I didn't like the Unearthed Arcana art style of this fuzzy art style. I much prefer the D20 Modern crisp, clean, almost anime style art. But this was still acceptable. A bugbear. You could be an Aasimar. I mean, basically this is just a, you know, there's your drow. You don't want to mess with her. And you didn't have to be evil. That's the nice part about it. So it was a little... They kind of took some liberties more on the comical side. But you could run the game however you so decided to. You could make it as dark as you wanted to, or as, you know, lighthearted as you wanted. You could play half dragons. So everything was there, you know. Here's all your different, you know, and telling you the different racial modifiers or level adjustments for whatever you're playing. So pretty cool. Just really neat. Excuse me, guys. I have had the yawns all day. I should have taken a nap today, but I really just dig the whole setting. Like I said, there was a ton of books that came out. I mean, D20 Future, Apocalypse, Core Rulebook, a GM screen. I do have the GM screen. Menace Manual, Player's Companion, Urban Arcana, and Future Tech. Future Tech is a really good one too. They really knocked it out of the park with Future Tech. You know, a really good D20 book. Ultra Modern Firearms is another good one that would work well with, you know, either Future Tech or D20 Modern. More so D20 Modern. This was, of course, a official WotC book. You can see Chris Perkins there, still the design manager. When did this come out? Let's see, did we see a date here? Does anybody see a date? This was a bunch of information printed in Dungeons & Dragons magazine. I don't see a date. Oh, wait. Here we go. 2006. So from 2002 to 2004, we had a little bit of a print run there, which is kind of cool. They were already bought out by Hasbro at this time, I believe. So still based out of Washington, which I'm not sure if they still are now that they're owned by WotC. I haven't kept up with WotC enough to really care. I do enjoy 5th edition. I'm running an Esper Genesis game, and I'm really enjoying that. But Esper Genesis is what Shadowrun is to D&D. It's just night and day. But it's a good system, and I really like it. It just uses the 5th edition mechanics for the most part, but it's nothing like D&D in that aspect. There's no dwarves or anything. But D20 Modern was that, I think this would convert over to 5th edition really well. I'm sure there's a system conversion document out there somewhere. I'm sure use your Google Foo and see if you can find it. But just a really fun system. I mean, they did a lot of cool things with it. I believe, if I remember correctly, this book is in a box. I don't physically have it out, but I think it was a softback book. I'm not sure. It might have been hardback. Correct me if I'm wrong. But, of course, it was produced by WotC, so the quality was excellent. They go through your tech levels. Excuse me for the hiccups, guys. I'm sorry. What you need to play. Just Polizei. It's great. German police or European. Just really good stuff in here. All kinds of stuff. Any tech that you need, in a combat situation, this book pretty much had you covered. From goo rounds, which I thought was awesome. I never got a chance to use those on my players, but I really wanted a chance to use those. A non-lethal way to restrain people, with this like super glue basically that gobs you up. But just all kinds of neat abilities. Oh. Excuse me, guys. Man, I just can't stop yawning. I'm about to go pick up my little guy from daycare. I just wanted to go over these real quick. Flechette Rifle, a pistol, a charge rifle, a gyrojet gun, basically shoots rockets, and then all your mechanics and your stats. These books are readily available through DriveThruRPG. I'm not going to put links in the notes because you can just go on DriveThruRPG and do D20 Modern, and you'll find everything you need to get there. I believe they're still also available off of WotC's site, and you can probably find the hardbacks on Amazon. So if you go on Amazon and you look around, these books are readily available, which was really cool because it's still, I think this game holds up to this day. The D20 system, obviously it's still around in 5th edition. It's just been streamlined. And you could probably take the system reference document, the SRD, from 5th edition and put it into this, and I don't think you'll have much of a problem. Like I said, it's a pretty solid system. There wouldn't need to be much tweaking in order to make it work in 5th edition. We do have Carbon 2185 that's coming out later this year, which is kind of a sci-fi cyberpunk setting, which is going to have some great, fantastic rules. I've managed to see a little bit of the playtest document, and I'm really impressed with it. So D20 Modern, D20 Future is not dead. There's other ways around it. But if you have all these books like I do, you better believe I'm going to run a Carbon 2185 game. And I will be using these books for inspiration, for sure, to bring my game into 5th edition. So, really just awesome stuff. Lots of cool art. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. I don't know why I'm so tired. Here's some of the stuff from Alternity, the Frawl, Drolosite, Alarian, Tassa. So, yeah, they're bringing in stuff from, Alternity, which they converted over to D20 Modern, and then their sci-fi stuff. So, you've got, look at that. How cool is that? tactical assault armor. You've got everything here. So, you know, we got that. The Apocalypse book I thought was pretty good too. I don't know if my core future book is corrupted or what. It might just be the PDF is I need to close it out and restart it. Hopefully it's not. Let's see. Again, this was Chris Perkins. Let's see if we find a 2005. So this is shortly after, you know, 3 years later. All kinds of good stuff. The art here definitely went back to that kind of cartoony style, but more exaggerated with the colors. Still good stuff. Alien Invasion. You get your different options. So whatever genre you want to play in a D20 setting, you've got the framework. Like I said, you want to run, you know, Alien Legion. You want to run, you know, Shadowrun. You want to run Cyberpunk. You could do it with this. It was totally set up. Two bugbears find slim pickings in a demolished store. Yeah. So definitely got, you know, some Mad Max vibes going there, but you're adding all of your Monster Manual stuff to it. So definitely cool and fun nonetheless. Talks about radioactivity. So I mean, just again, there's a plethora of all these books that you can use, you know, and that is the cool part of what makes D20 Modern so popular. I'm gonna make this full screen there. So I'm not sure what happened there. Hopefully it comes out okay on the stream. I closed the curtains because the bright light was coming in. Could be why I'm so sleepy. But I hope this gave you a little inkling. If you've never played D20 Modern or you haven't seen it, it might put it on your radar. And like I said, all those books are readily available from various Drive-Thru RPG, Amazon. I believe you can still buy them off of WotC, and then there's tertiary third-party sellers that sell them as well. So you can definitely still find the books. The PDFs are out there readily available as well. So you can purchase these, and you know, you could run a very reasonable, you know, 3.5 converted to 5th edition, you know, with your player's handbook and your DMG or the SRD. And, you know, it all falls under the OGL. So you could even, if you wanted to publish your own stuff, you know, you've got the OGL, you're still covered. You just have to make it for 5th edition. I think the 3.5 license OGL is dead. I'm not sure. You may still be able to publish it for it. I don't know. But why would you when 5th edition is readily available? But guys, that's my thoughts on D20 Modern. It's definitely a buy for Mr. Mean. Totally pick it up. It's worth your time, if nothing else, to go back and read and see all the fun stuff that it was gonzo over the top. You know, so many books that they put out for it, and you know, just so much stuff that you could use and do. You know, Spycraft came out of that whole D20 Modern genre thing, and went off and did its own thing. So yeah, like I said, you could run a Shadowrun game, you could run a Cyberpunk game, you could run a sci-fi game. You know, it was there. You had everything, all the makings you needed. If there's not a current game on the market that you like, you could definitely go look at D20 Modern and, you know, import it into your world setting, and it's still viable, still a good, fun game system. And if you know how to play 5th edition, you pretty much know the mechanics. They're just a little more bloated. 5th edition streamlined a lot of things, but still totally worth your while to make it. So hope you guys found this informative and you liked it. Hit that like and subscribe button. I'm going to go catch a nap because obviously I'm too tired to be doing this today. As soon as I find my mouse. There it is. All right, guys. As always, Mr. Mean says, be nice.